My Mount Rushmore is going to be Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael, Ryan Villapoto, and Ryan Dungey. All right, so I posted a poll on YouTube and I asked, would you put Ryan Dungey on your Mount Rushmore of Supercross? My Mount Rushmore is going to be Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael, Ryan Villapoto, and Ryan Dungey. The reason why I say that is RV and Ryan Dungey both have 4 championships on the Supercross, the 450 class. They have 4 championships. And then obviously Ricky Carmichael has 5 championships. He's obviously one of the GOATs. Jeremy McGrath has 72 wins and 7 championships in Supercross. Like, that is the legend of Supercross. The reason why I didn't put Chad Reed or Stewart, they only have 2 championships combined. Yeah, they got a lot of race wins, but they don't have championships. In my opinion, that's my Mount Rushmore, is those 4 guys. Now, I have a lot of comments in the game, or in the post here. This guy, Austin Jettis, says, James Stewart, the King, aka Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael, and then Tomac or Villapoto, probably even before Reed or Dungey. This guy said, this is because this is based on my question. He said, but close. He's close, but man, I value talent and speed. Just that it factors that makes you sit on the edge of your couch or stand up in the stadiums are more pure than consistency. I would say, obviously, James Stewart is one of the GOATs. I don't know if he's on the Mount Rushmore Supercross. This one kind of threw me off guard. This guy, shout out to, I don't even, Sephirak. I don't know how you pronounce your name. Dungey is definitely a top 10 American, or top 10 best Americans of all time, and honestly the nicest dude in the pits, but slightly outside of the list of top 4 ever. It's the King of Supercross, Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, and Villapoto, in his honest opinion. Tomac is a phenomenal rider, but all of his titles come after the only guys he couldn't beat consistently retired. You could say he bloomed later than the guys like Poto and Dungey. So I put Tomac in a solid 5th. That kind of contradicts his own freaking comment, because he said Tomac's a phenomenal rider, but all the titles came after the guys retired. Who were the 2 guys in front of him?
Yeah, but you could also argue to somebody who says that the field now is way more in depth than it ever was back then, and the bikes now are way better than they've ever been. So in theory, these guys that are doing it now are at more risk, I guess.
That is very true. Don't get me wrong, but just the contradiction of his, but all titles came after the guys he couldn't beat retired. That's Ryan Dungey. How would you not put Ryan Dungey above Tomac?
I think once Tomac retires, he has a spot above Dungey.
If he wins, if he wins this year, he's definitely, I think with more wins and championships, he could be right there, right, battling with Villapoto, Dungey for the Mount Rushmore.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah. I don't think you could put him up there right this second, because he only has 2 championships, and he lost to Villapoto, he lost to Dungey multiple years, he lost to Anderson in 1 year, he's lost to Cooper Webb 2 years.
That's true.
You know what I mean? He's had a bunch of years.
We're seeing a different Tomac though now, because
yeah, 100%.
The 2 rounds that Tomac has done bad this year have been rounds where the dirt is insanely loose.
Yeah.
So he rides god tier any other track. So 2 or 3 rounds he's gonna be bad, but the rest of them he's gonna win. Yeah. I have a few comments before I get to my boy Steezy's comment, man. This guy Cactus Tiger, he said 1 to 3 spots off. I mean, it's his opinion. So I would love to see what his actual Mount Rushmore is. And this guy Slime Time, he said, not gonna lie, it's honestly between him and Villapoto, which I would say is right there as well. That's a good choice. And then Tony Two Taps, Jeremy McGrath, James Stewart, Ricky Carmichael, Chad Reed. I think that was for a long time my picks for Mount Rushmore Supercross. Those 4 guys. I think a lot of guys now would honestly say those 4 guys, and I think everybody's opinion would say those 4 is the best Supercross racers of all time. I think that's also the generation that we grew up, we saw the back end of Jeremy McGrath's, but then we saw Ricky Carmichael's dominance, James Stewart's dominance, and Chad Reed's dominance. So we grew up on those, and all the guys now are yeah, that's who it is. And then we got my boy Steezy, man. In my opinion, I say no, because he left too early. I don't think he left too early, Steezy, but that's okay. I imagine the younger guys would put him up there though. McGrath, Stewart, Carmichael are set in stone. Tomac is 4th, and right now I'm not a big Tomac fan, which is all right. The 4th will waiver for Tomac, or we add a 5th face, because if Jet, Deegan, or similar caliber athlete accomplishes more than Tomac in less time, he will be dethroned, or we'll have to add to the 5th. I don't think you can say Jet or Deegan yet. They're not even on 450s. That's my opinion. I don't think you can even mention those guys' names in the Mount Rushmore yet, especially Deegan. He's only raced 5 times. I get that Villapoto and Dungey don't have race wins compared to Tomac, who has 45 now, right? 45. I think, but Dungey has 34.
And Villapoto has fucking 35, I'm pretty sure.
Your argument that would like go in your favor for Dungey being better, like being the better pick. Dungey was racing against Villapoto. Like Dungey was racing against some of the better guys. Like nowadays, Tomac doesn't have like that other guy. You know what I mean? Like Tomac is the guy. Like Sexton crashes every week. The guys like Roxon doesn't get first every week. Barsha doesn't get top 3 every week. Like all these guys are always like swapping. So like I feel like Tomac's the only one that's like really made like a dent.
You want to hear what some of the crazy stats Ryan Dungey did in his lifetime? He went out of through 2014 to 2016 Supercrosses. He finished on the podium 54 out of 58 times.
Jesus. That's actually nuts. Like 54 out of 58?
Yeah, and 31 consecutive from 15 to 16 in Supercross. And from 2009 to 2017, he finished only 2 races outside of the top 10.
Yeah, that makes sense because like everybody like, or not everybody, but like a lot of people that I know hate on Dungey because they're like, oh, he's not as good as everybody says he is. But like, I remember there was a time when I was younger where like every time I would be watching like any sort of motocross or Supercross, you would see his name like every time.
You know, his first year as a 450 rider, he won the Supercross championship. He won the outdoor championship, and then he went overseas and beat everybody at the Des Nations as a rookie on a 450.
Damn, I didn't actually know that. No.
Yeah, and he has 39 outdoor wins, 34 Supercross wins on 450s. You can't really count 250s, whatever. 80 total AMA wins between 250 and 450s. I mean, this guy is definitely on Mount Rushmore, man. Are you kidding me? I'm just trying to validate my point of Ryan Dungey being on the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion. I just think the results speak for itself. Obviously, James Stewart, in my opinion, is my favorite rider of all time. I mean, like, that's my favorite rider of all time, right? Mount Rushmore, though, you got to look at stats. You got to look at consistency. I mean, Villapoto won 4 straight against Stewart, you know? Like 2 of those years, or 3 of those years was Stewart in there. Let me know what your guys' opinion are in the comments below. I would love to talk about this. That's why I did a poll. So let me know what you guys think. And yeah, much love. I'm out. See you guys in the next video. Peace.